Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time that you happen to be tuning into. It's Naturally Nat. How are you? I hope you're doing wonderful this weekend. I know that some of our summer holidays have already passed by us, right? Memorial Day, Father's Day. People got the grills fired up. I know I have. I went and got my tank refilled and doing a lot of cooking out. In fact, tonight I should say, I'm gonna have some skewered meat, some shish kebabs, and I was trying to think of what side I wanted for that. Something that maybe I could do a little bit in the head, maybe have it ready and just be able to microwave it real quick. Was a dish that I saw maybe somebody make on the internet a long time ago on a show that isn't even around, and then kind of my imagination kicking in and changing that recipe up a bit. I don't even have a name for it other than smashed potato, right? Kind of like smash burgers. The idea behind the trendiness of the smash burgers these days is that all surfaces of the object that you're cooking, the hamburger, are getting that, is it the Maillard effect, is that right? Where everything's touching the hot surface, the cooking surface, and getting that browned texture and that taste that everybody so craves in the smash burger. Well, the smashed potato, for lack of a better name, that I'm going to show you how to make today has the same thing occur. It has lots of crunchy bits that you don't necessarily associate with a potato unless it's a French fry. But why does it have to be stuck in a French fry? Why can't you have something that's fluffy like a potato, but like a smash burger with crispy ends, but not a French fry? So it's kind of a weird side dish, but once you get the hang of it and once you try one, you're going to want to make them all the time, whether you're grilling or not. I just thought these would go great with what I'm grilling, which is marinated venison stew cuts, right? Which are kind of like chislic, which is kind of like steak tips, only it's what's been butchered down and has a little bit of skin here and there and a little bit of sinew, not the best cuts, you really want to marinate them. So this potato dish is going to be wonderful with these shish kebabs. What you're going to need are only a few ingredients. These little small red potatoes, I've heard them called maybe new potatoes. I've heard a friend of mine calls them that. I don't know if that's the technical name for them. I just call them the small or the baby red potatoes. You're going to need cheese, probably a cheddar cheese would be the best. That's all I ever use on this one. You're going to need bacon, and I went ahead this morning and made a whole flat of bacon that I'm going to go ahead and wrap up in some plastic and paper towels and keep in the refrigerator for BLTs and you name it, or whatever needs crisped up bacon. You're going to need eats of bacon. You're only going to need maybe a strip or two, okay? Then you're going to need sour cream. You're going to need some sort of hot sauce that you like. And then you're going to need, well, you don't have to use chives, but they're growing like mad right now in my herb garden, so I'm going to use those because who doesn't love oniony, right? Now, you could do these on a flat top, like this bad boy, that I make pancakes and grilled cheese with. You could do on one of these. There's nothing wrong with doing it on one of these. Or you can make these smashed potatoes on a cast iron. And I kind of prefer a cast iron. Even heat distribution, mainly. And I don't know, I'm old school. I like cast iron. I use it whenever I can. It's just good stuff. So we're going to let that get hot. And what you're going to want to do is microwave your little new potatoes. Allow for 3 of these per person. I'm making these for BM, and he can eat about 8 of these, so can Daniel. But I'm going to make several so you can see how they're done. Microwave them for about 3 minutes. I think I did these for 3 minutes and 40 seconds till they're soft. Poke a hole, rinse them, microwave them, let them cool. These have cooled significantly. And then you're ready to get started. You're going to need a mallet, or you can use, you could use the back of that cast iron skillet. Would do the same thing. And you're going to smash these, okay? So you're going to make them go from cute to a hot mess, like somebody ran over them with the lawnmower. And you're going to want to get it about a quarter an inch thick. And you're going to want the fleshy parts exposed like this, because they're going to fry in this hot cast iron. Hello, Rosie. Are you saying hi to everybody today? You're not going to make me stop what I'm doing and make you stop barking, are you? Okay. So you want to smash out all your potatoes like this. If you have a big cast iron, I have a big one hanging there, and say I was making it for a friend, maybe a kid or two or something, I would do it in the big cast iron. But since I'm only making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this little cast iron I think is going to do just fine. We're getting that ripping, shimmering hot, and we'll just go ahead and smash these out. Now again, you don't need to have one of these mallets. You could use the back of a skillet, that would work, but you just want to get them. I'd say that's about a 1/4 inch thick. Okay, so there's one. Let that skin break. Ooh, that's a good one. In fact, that's a perfect one. It's kind of like a star. That's exactly what you want these to look like. My oil's getting ripping. There's another way I also make these, real quick before we get going. When it's real hot, or when I just, I don't want to be hands-on, I do these in the air fryer. They take longer, because as you know, to mimic fried, an air fryer has to go a little longer. At least I have found that. To mimic that fried taste that you get in a skillet in less time. I know that doesn't make sense, but you have to go longer in air fryer, and I want to get these done and out of the way. Ooh, that's a good one too. Look at that one. Now they stay together pretty nice. They don't really fall apart unless you're overdoing it with these, and you don't want to do that. So here are my smashers, and all of this is going to have a crispy fried exterior once we fry them up for color. What I do when I'm checking my oil, see if it's ready, I just always get a little droplet of water, and if it makes that snapping noise, we're ready to go, and it made that snapping noise. So we're going to go ahead, there we go, we're going to do, oh, I bet I can do 3 at a time. And I'm going to say you're going to want to let them go 2-3 minutes. You know, I always like to use my timer, and then it kind of lets you know in real time how long it takes as well to do something like this. Then you're going to want to give them a little salt and pepper on this side that's up, you know, season them. If you have a particular seasoning salt that you really like, you can go ahead and do that as well. I had a thing for baking salt for a while. I love that baking salt. I think I still have it around somewhere in my cupboard. Hit it up with some pepper. And we'll go ahead, while those are frying up, we'll get some cheddar going here. I'm going to use the small grate size on my sturdy but broken grater, just because I want the size of the cheese to be just small, because the potatoes are small, right? If I were making a plate or a tray of nachos, I'd use the other end where the big holes are. You can get this dish about 3/4 done while you've got your steak or your kebabs going, and hold it off on the counter or even in the refrigerator, and do the last step, which is the decorating and saucing with the sour cream, if you will, at the very last minute before plating. But this part you can do in a little bit in advance if you want to. In fact, I'm going to do these in advance. I'm going to end up eating one of these, but I'm going to probably do these in advance and hold them off in the refrigerator until later when I'm getting ready to eat dinner, which isn't going to be for a couple hours today. Let's take a little peek. It's been about 2 minutes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Give them a flip. They're starting to get kind of buckly. I don't know if that's really a cooking term, but it works for me. I'll let you see here as I give this another 2 minutes. See that? You could even let it go a little longer. I'm going to let that one go maybe even a little longer than 2 minutes. And then this bad boy will be ready for putting totally together. Let's go ahead and crisp up or chop up some bacon. just made this earlier today. It's nice and crispy. Mmm. Who doesn't eat a bite of bacon right before they're cutting the bacon? Honestly. Right? I know I do. That's so crispy, I don't even really need to chop it. I could have just crumbled that in my hands. Okay. Bacon makes me smile. Let's take a look at the flip side, or the underside. Well, let them go. Take our time. Why are these so good? Again, the very center is fluffy, like you were eating a nice, fluffy, slow-baked baked potato or mashed potato. Yet the outside is crispy. Now, when I make these for Daniel, he'll just eat these. He would eat these just how they are, how I put them together. But some people like ketchup on the side or put ketchup on top. I am not one of those people. If you are, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think they look pretty the way I'm going to plate these up, and I wouldn't cover them with ketchup. But these, could you eat these for breakfast? Probably could. But I see these as more of kind of a dinner with your steak kind of things. There we go. There we go. Oh. Let that just stay there for a second. Get my little handle protector. I got these from one of my most favorite viewers who is no longer with us. And this comes in so handy for this kind of scenario because this pan is getting hot. In fact, your fire alarm, if you have, I hope you have them in your house, may go off when you make this because there's going to be some little bit of smoke from what you're doing here in the frying. Oh yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and get our chives ready. You could probably put a variety of things on top here. If you were having a sort of Mexican-inspired or kind of main dish, you could put cilantro chopped up on top of these things if you wanted. You could put, I don't know, if you were having some chicken, I'd say maybe some tarragon also would be good on top of these. I think tarragon goes pretty well with a lot of things. Okay? Alright, so he's a-smoking. I'm going to shut him off. I'm going to go ahead and get my potatoes out of here and get that off the burner, in fact. And then see how I can, whoop, without some serious consequences there. Whew, that's hot. Holy moly. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get some cheese on here, which is, since we've grated it pretty thin, is just going to start to melt a little bit. You can always toss it in the microwave for just a sec. It doesn't hurt to get some really melty going on here. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. It's really more an issue of vanity, because I want it to be super melty looking. Be back here in a second. Just give this a little, 9 seconds at full power. That ought to make the tops of the cheese just melt the way I want to do them, because I'm vain. Yes, ma'am. And it did it just the way I wanted it. Then we're going to get our sour cream. You could doctor up your sour cream if you wanted to and put some spices in it if you wanted to. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use it straight as is. You could water it down a little bit, which is something I actually might do, because if you water it down just a little bit, it's easy to maneuver as a topping on things. Right? So that I'm going to do just to make this. I only added I added maybe half a teaspoon of water to this. And this is probably a heaping tablespoon of sour cream. Now this is just going to make this more easy to to apply. Sometimes I make the thinning agent lemon or lime juice, depending on what is the purpose I'm using it for. Like, am I drizzling it over some burritos or something like that? I'll do that too, give it a little flavor. Grab me a spoon. Alright. You're going to just kind of, well, that wasn't very artistic of me. But it would be funkier looking if I hadn't watered this down a little bit. Then we're going to want to hit it up with our bacon bits. And don't use those bacon bits, folks. Unless you really, 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 really don't want to run to the store. Make some real bacon, and like I did. I think I did a short on how I do my bacon, which comes together pretty fast. We'll do that. Then we do the chives on top. Oh man, I'm getting hungry. And then your hot sauce choice, your favorite. This is a Chipotle super hot sauce. And this is what this looks like. And I am going to have to tear into this because this smells wonderful. Let's tear into it, Rosie. Grab a fork. Cut into it. It's going to be crispy on the outside exteriors. Oh, hit them up with a little more salt and pepper. Just a little, not a lot. I'm not using kosher. I'm using a very fine grain salt, so I can kind of keep my eye on that. I always go crazy with the pepper. That's just me, though. And let's give her a shot. This is so simple. I don't get why it's so delicious. But I think it's the texture that comes from frying them in a cast iron or in a skillet just makes these things, these smashed potatoes, if you will, as a side dish, just so unctuous and wonderful. A little extra bacon never hurt anybody, right? Give these a try next time you're looking for a side dish to go with that steak, to go with the chicken that you're throwing on the grill. You can't go wrong with these. They are super delicious. I've been noticing that we have a lot of new members to the channel. I want to say hi to all of you. I'm glad that you're here. I still get a lot of people who watch my videos who aren't a member yet. So if you can, hit that subscribe button. That would be great. Or hit the thumbs up button. That would be great. Leave me a comment if you make something kind of along these lines, or what's your favorite style to do a potato when you're going to be grilling outside. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.